not your fault, you know, sweetie.
Isn't it? So is there any word from Justin?
I understand there's been a problem getting hold of him, so at this rate we'll all be on for lunch. You have to excuse me.
Sure.
He isn't going to turn up.
I know we had our moments, Jake, but I wish you could have worked it out.
So do I. You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
How long do you think they'll give him?
I think he's come to his senses.
Bottled out, you mean?
Sorry, mate.
Rebecca Dean, you are charged that on the 7th of July 2005, you engaged in sexual activity with a child under the age of 16, contrary to Section 9 of the Sexual Offences Act 2003. How do you plead? Mrs. Dean?
Not guilty.
What if they don't believe her?
They will.
Look, I should be in there. Becca needs me.
She'll be okay. She's a lot stronger than you think.
She was my English teacher.
She taught you in school?
Yeah, but not just in school. She gave me extra lessons at home.
Silence in the public gallery.
She tutored you privately?
Yeah. She said if I let her help me, then I'd do much better.
Was she paid for this tuition, to your knowledge?
No. She'd ask me to stay behind after school. And then she'd come to my house more and more often, a lot of the time when my mum wasn't there. It seemed like she'd do anything to be alone with me.
Go on.
At first, you know, I thought it was just because I was struggling at school, but she wasn't spending that much time with anyone else who was struggling. She told me I was special.
And how did that make you feel?
Embarrassed, like, you know, and a bit flattered because I was 15, she's gorgeous.
Did you ever try to discourage her?
Yeah, I left school. Then she got a husband to persuade me to go back.
I see.
Then when my mum went to work down south, I was going to go with her. But Becca asked me not to leave Chester. She wanted me to stay with her.
I'd like you to cast your mind back to the 7th of July 2005, the night of the school prom, when you were 15 years old.
But I was leaving the prom at the end of the night. I'd had a bit to drink and she followed me out.
Had the defendant been drinking?
No, she was sober.
What happened next?
She asked how I was and everything. Then she took me aside like she was looking after me. I mean, we were getting closer all the time. And then she kissed me.
How did you react?
I was pretty out of it. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Go on.
Then she took me into one of the classrooms. I remember she said something like, "I don't want us to be disturbed," or something like that.
And what happened next?
We started kissing and stuff, and then she started to undress me, and then she took her own clothes off. But I wasn't thinking straight, but, you know, I couldn't believe my luck.
Did you have sex?
What 15-year-old boy wouldn't?
No further questions, Your Honor.
What?
What's happened?
Adjournment.
How's it going?
Not good.
It's early days, so...
Sit yourself down, love. Come on.
Look, thanks for coming, yeah?
Yeah, well, I didn't do it for you.
I'll pay back the money that I took.
Yeah, too right you will.
Oi, oi, oi. No, we're not going to have a punch-up in court, are we? Because I've only got the one suit and I don't want any blood on it. Okay?
Where have you been? I've been trying to get hold of you for days.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just needed some time to think. 2 minutes, yeah? You'll be sorry you ever came back. How about I tell all those people in that court what you did to me? I'm sure they'll be very interested.
How old are you?
15, why?
You're too young for the public gallery.
What's going on?
I'm going to have to ask you to take her out.
You know, I swore to myself that I was going to get you back, hurt you for what you did to me. But then I realised all I needed to do was turn up today. You should have let me leave. Because now she's going down. It's all your fault.
I'd like to take you back to the night of the school prom, if I may. Isn't it true that you initiated the kiss with Mrs. Dean? Not the first time that you tried to kiss her, and that Mrs. Dean pulled away?
No.
You're certain of that?
Yeah.
And yet you said yourself that you'd been drinking, you weren't thinking straight, you were pretty out of it.
He's twisting my words.
You and the defendant lived together until recently, is that correct?
Well, yeah, because I had nowhere else to go.
The defendant is carrying your child, is that correct?
Maybe, I don't know.
But it's possible.
Well, yeah, of course it's possible.
Do you recognise this?
No.
I would remind you, Mr. Burton, you are under oath.
Yeah, I recognise it.
Could you tell the court what it is, please?
Becca's engagement ring.
Sorry?
Mrs. Dean's engagement ring.
Which you purchased after asking her to be your wife, am I right?
She made me buy it. It's on her credit card bill. She was trying to trap me, that's why she got pregnant.
She got pregnant on her own. You had no part in it, is that what you're saying? You and Mrs. Dean broke up recently, am I right?
Yeah, I realised what she was trying to do.
That must have been quite a blow for you.
I wasn't bothered.
Are you familiar with the phrase, revenge is a dish best served cold?
What are you talking about?
I would suggest that you were in love with the defendant.
What's that got to do with anything?
You lived together, you planned to marry, bring up a child. But when Mrs. Dean wanted out of the relationship, when she realised she'd made a mistake, you couldn't deal with it.
That's not what happened.
I put it to you that Mrs. Dean made no advances upon you, sexual or otherwise, while you were underage.
That's a lie.
And that this whole case is based on nothing more than a desire for revenge.
No, it's not.
No further questions.
The prosecution would like to call Miss Nicole Owen as their next witness.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Miss Owen, can you tell the court how you came to know Justin Burton?
We were in the same class at school.
You were both taught by Mrs. Dean, is that correct?
That's right.
How would you describe the relationship between Mrs. Dean and Justin Burton?
She looked out for him.
Looked out for him.
She went out of her way, you know. Justin was always her favourite.
Can you describe to the court what you witnessed in the school hall on the 5th of May 2006?
They were kissing, Justin and Becca.
Mr. Burton would be 16 at that point.
If you say so.
I do. How would you characterize this kiss? Was it a peck on the cheek?
It was full on, you know.
And was this the first time you'd been made aware of their relationship?
It was the first time I'd actually seen anything.
But was it the first time you'd been made aware of their relationship?
No. No, I knew last year.
Can you be more specific?
Well, it was after an exam, so I guess May or June of last year. And Justin told Ali, his stepbrother, that him and Becca were seeing each other. And then Ali told me.
No, that's not true.
Objection, Your Honour. This is hearsay.
You must be quiet, Mrs. Dean. You may continue.
Can I clarify? May or June 2005?
That's right.
There is no way that you can be mistaken about this.
No.
Mr. Burton's birthday is in August, which means that he was 15 years old. No further questions, Your Honour?
What have you said? What have you told them?